What's your link though? Share your link.
Yeah, how do I do that? Share, just the share button next to it. Okay. All right. Let's see if anybody even shows up. Here, I'll throw it in. YouTube videos. YouTube videos. And just tag it, everyone. All right. So now that we've got that sorted out. All right. So, hello, YouTube. Any viewers that are just joining now? Change my cursor because the magic wand. There's probably nobody that's even joined yet. I guess I'll give it a couple minutes.
We didn't share this. Oh, did you share? Oh, there it is. Oh no, wait. What is this one?
I shared it in
I'm in
YouTube.
announcements. Where?
In YouTube
Yeah,
videos. Here,
let me
I'll
go
send it
shout
on
out
to
in
you.
my YouTube that yours is now live. You might get some people jump in.
I'll put it in announcements too, I guess. I don't know. I mean, if that's easier to find for you, Kale. Or I'll just put it in freaking general. How about that, Kale?
No, no, I found it because in your announcements is your channel, anyways.
Yeah, so
No, no, I
you can see the live video right now.
yep, we're good.
Yeah. Alright, cool. So I don't know, I guess I'll give it a few minutes, but yeah, we do have some crazy price action here. I still didn't see anything that was that would suggest that it was gonna bounce from this area. This doesn't look like, oh yeah, it's definitely forming a bottom. It might have just got oversold, and then people were like, okay, let's jump in. There was this bullish divergence on the 1 minute, but it's less often that that actually creates a pivot point, like especially when it's the divergence on the 1 minute. But if we look back here, we are sweeping these lows. This stopping volume candle got invalidated. So I can delete all that. I should have probably cleaned up my chart before I went live, but we have swept this low now. And so this is no longer be considered a hidden bullish divergence. It would have been a hidden bullish divergence on the weekly, but it's not anymore. That's completely invalidated now. And I don't know why this is down here. This needs to be up there. So let's see. Let's try to figure out what we have going on. Get rid of all these intraday pivots.
I just got $21 off that.
What, the short you took, or oh, you took a long?
I took a long and just pulled 21 and still am in right now with say probably 15% of my total.
Nice, dude. Silver still has yet to see a bounce as significant as Bitcoin, but might be trying to work on something. I was talking about how the 84K area, I might want to try to go long there, but I haven't seen anything super sexy when it comes to forming a bottom on this just yet, so I'm going to leave that in the back burner for the moment. But BTC, if you look at BTC, we did sweep this previous low around 74K. A lot of people a lot of the bigger YouTubers have been suggesting that it's essential for us to sweep this 74K in order to pick up the extra amount of demand that we need in order to have any even either a significant dead cat bounce or a higher high. At this point, I really don't believe that we're gonna make a higher high this cycle. The cycle is pretty much, it's getting past that time where it's overripe. It's not it's kind of almost going bad. So it's I'm not really in the camp that is suggesting we could have a super cycle. I mean, it's obviously a possibility. It's obviously anything's possible. But I mean, in terms of looking at what's most likely, I'd say it's probably not really in the cards anymore. But I mean, that doesn't mean we can't do something like this still, like go up to 110 or whatever, and then continue down. The momentum clearly isn't there just yet right now, but like I was saying a minute ago, you know, some of the bigger YouTubers have been saying like they think it's essential for us to sweep this low. Like Benjamin Cohen, I know is one of them. There's a couple others, like, you know, not really thinking off the top of my head, but what I wanted to look at here, just since we're on the weekly chart, is this vector gap. This whole thing was almost taken back here, but it still left this vector gap, and that's been open this whole time, as well as you know, the recheck, the true retest of this whole support zone, which, you know, part of it goes back to the all-time high from the previous cycle, but this this whole support resistance zone from before the election being like somewhere right here. So I guess it's sort of a statistic, or what's been an ongoing statistic, is that the Bitcoin price never goes below the price that it was at before, like, the election, or excuse me, on the day of the presidential election, whatever that price is, whatever the lowest price of that day was, Bitcoin's never gone back below that price. And we can dive deeper into that data later on if we want, but there is some immediate price action happening. What I wanted to point out here is that vector gap is right in this support resistance zone from 2024, and clearing that vector gap would bring us just below the average mining cost of BTC, and it would hit that 200 weekly EMA. That's what this white line is here, 200 weekly EMA. Bear with me a little bit. I know there's like a lot of stuff on my chart, so it's kind of like a bit of a mess to try to read, but I'll clean it up a little better for my next video. I just went live because Rick suggested I go live, and I like Rick and I respect his opinion, so I'm taking his suggestion and I'm going live. So here I am. I don't know if anyone has even really joined us yet. I don't know if we have any viewers at the moment. Let me check. I would have to go current viewers. We got 2 viewers. All right. Well, Kale says, hey, not sure if you see my message. Can you go to total market cap? You'll see something interesting there too. All right. We'll check out the total. Let me see if I can, if there's a way that I can actually get this in a smaller window. I'm gonna have to go back to the Discord. I do want to focus more on the price action than anything else. Where is the link? Oh yeah, didn't I copy it? I just want to have the live chat up in case anybody shows up. Well, besides Kale, of course. Kale, you are somebody. I just want to have the live chat up. I appreciate you being here. Shows up. So well, Kale wants us to look at total. Oh, I don't know if I can have that up at the same time. I'll try to figure that out too. Technical difficulties. So Kale wants us to look at total. I don't know. I also hear myself coming through it. I'll try to figure that out too. Technical difficulties. Trial and error. Okay. Sorry about that. So the total chart, he said, I believe it was. Wow. Alright, so yeah, we've got this like significant little bounce happening on the total crypto as well. So before I come in and analyze this chart, I just wanted to point out that the sweep of the lows here, these local lows, as well as that more macro low, it seems like buying pressure is stepping in at those levels, or it is so far. I don't know if that's like just a combination of people getting liquidated and then buy orders getting hit, and it's like an automatic rally um, towards some of the fair value gaps and towards some short liquidations up above. You know, maybe a lot of people FOMO'd into shorts. You know, thinking like, you know, you could have seen like a break of this support. A lot of people could have seen like, oh, it broke that previous low. I'm gonna jump into a short, and then it just whoop, comes up and liquidates them. You know, and there is some a heavy amount of short liquidations up above. So it's not always like when I'm looking for a reversal, the liquidations do play a big part in the method, but like they can't always be like 100% relied upon, because if the tide is down and the momentum is down, that's typically the way it's going to continue. And like same thing with up. If the tide is up and the momentum is up, that's usually the way it continues. So even if there is a ton of short liquidations here, if the tide doesn't turn in a strong enough way where it's sustainable, where you're sustainably reversing the trend, then more often than not, these liquidations don't get hit and people end up closing their shorts prematurely, or they close their short in the profit, just so that they can avoid liquidation. So whenever somebody closes their short, you know, that's less short liquidations to go chase after. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I use this in conjunction with I use this to just sort of try to find like what the motivations would be for the price to go up rather than go down. And at the moment, it does appear that the motivations would be to go up. But there is also people that are probably freaking out that we lost that level. Yeah, we had like an automatic rally, but losing that level is not really technically a good thing. And I would think that since we lost that, we would really probably most likely come to this 68.3 area before seeing any real significant bounce. But at least there is like a glimmer of hope that some sort of demand is showing up in this area. But yeah, going more back to the macro, or no, Kale wanted me to look at total. So seeing that bounce on Bitcoin, I mean, total does account for Bitcoin does account for most of the total market cap. You know, like the vast majority of the total crypto market cap is represented by Bitcoin. So, like, in essence, it's gonna look pretty similar to Bitcoin anyway, in terms of like structure and all that. Wow, there's a lot of crap on this chart. Hold on, I'm just gonna get rid of all that. Yeah, just get rid of all of it. Alright, so let's just do a bear analysis on this. I mean, if we're looking at the weekly, you can see like on the VPVR, oh, it freaking adjusted. Let's see if we can get that back to where it was. Come on. Invisible range. Alright, so this volume shelf here, like, you know, losing that volume shelf was pretty significant, and you also lost the 50 weekly EMA at the same time. So, I mean, I'd say this is kind of, a lot of people say, like, oh, October 10th, that's where things changed. And I mean, they are right about that. But the real confirmation for the tide turning was losing the 50 EMA, and then at the same time losing this point of control on the weekly. You know, you lost this previous consolidation. So, I mean, now it looks more or less like we're coming back to get this zone. Oh, we're actually already below this support here. I mean, we're at the support, but we're below the previous tops. But on total, here, is this the same date as BTC? April 7th? Yeah, so April 7th. Look, we've already made a lower low on BTC, but then if you look at total, it hasn't made a lower low. It hasn't actually taken out this low yet. Oops. So we put that low there. See, it hasn't even swept that low, whereas BTC has swept the low already. So, I mean, it could do something like that, buy back above the 200 and, you know, have a chance of recovery, or it could come down and try to hold support right there at the previous low. But it's already dropped past this previous support, so, I mean, it's not, I'd really say that it's not looking super healthy, like, in terms of, like, what bulls would want to see in order to have a bounce. Like, I mean, this at first looked like a decent bounce, like decent demand was coming in. But then look, it just kind of was a dead cat bounce and started selling off. A lot of volume you can see the difference in volume between right here and right here. Like a lot of volume and volatility showed up right there. So it's like you can see people are getting involved. It's just people are not really sure if they want to hold for too long. And then like you know, even if you bought here, it comes up here, consolidates for a while, and you're just like, it's not really moving, so I'm just gonna sell it, and then you get this big sell off. But often these like fast moves down, these like sharp moves down, that's usually a liquidity sweep. Like in most cases, these fast sharp moves, they're just gunning for liquidity, which would mean like, you know, they took out this previous low. So anyone that went long on like 100x leverage from this point, they either got stopped out or liquidated right there. So it just clears the books in terms of liquidity. Whether or not it's a sustained bounce or not, I'm not sure. But I mean, that right there is already a pretty good move. Like almost 3%, 2.5, almost 3%. You are really oversold there on the RSI, but yeah, I mean, not sure whether or not it will be sustained. What was the move on Bitcoin? We're testing the 200 EMA on the 1 minute. You're already back above the 50. I mean, there is a chance it could be gunning for these liquidations because it looks like not many people actually jumped in to go long. 3% on BTC in how long a time frame is that? Yeah, just in 20 minutes, BTC just popped, you know, 3% in 20 minutes. So I don't know. That should be considered a pretty big deal, I suppose. But I don't really like V-shaped recoveries. I like when it comes down to build structure, consolidates for a while, because then there's less of a chance that it's just gonna fall right through if you actually build support first. Like if you take a step up, build support, take a step up, you know, retrace, you know, sort of like um, confirm that as support, take a step up, consolidate for a while, break through. Now when you come down, like even if it was to you know, reject and come down, at least you would have something like some structure to hold the support to suggest like a bounce towards like a lower high, like instead of just completely falling right through. Like because when you just have a straight move up, then there's nothing to hold you up. There's no structure to hold you up, so the drop ends up being more drastic. But at least in this case, you would have support and it wouldn't just fall straight through all levels. Like, you know, you'd have some consolidation, so you get a little bit of time to figure all that stuff out. So that's why I don't really like the sharp V-shape recoveries. Like they kind of bother me, like they scare me. Like, and I wouldn't be like FOMOing into a long here, but I mean, we could be um, with this new development here, we could be building on something that like, you know, creates like, you know, consolidation, pullback, and then, you know, if it still seems like it's bullish and holding higher lows, you know, I might consider entering along there. Or maybe if it's maybe it's only maybe it's enough to just reclaim this previous low as support, you know, and like, you know, flag out here and then bounce up. Not really sure, but I mean, we did have a really very significant move down today. We were trading in this range for a while. Oops. We were trading in this range for like all day yesterday, and then it decided to just give up and wham. So now that we, like, I guess swept all that liquidity, swept this previous low, swept the previous macro low from April, you know, we might actually have a chance to get either a better, like, more significant relief rally, or it could just be like a short-term relief rally to the upside. So if the momentum continues and we pull back and we reclaim this as support, I might consider going long and trying to reach for these previous highs. If we then, form structure and do some pullbacks with some higher lows, I might consider holding that position, for a longer trade, maybe up to some higher numbers. But yeah, I don't think this next area, like, this is going to be an area to contend with. And then, if we were to get past that, then you've obviously got that 95 to 98 area, and then this 108 area that would be a problem. But we haven't even really touched those areas. It's just been really a bloodbath ever since this day over here, January 18th. The CME opened, and it just freaking wham to the downside. And there hasn't been really any signs of significant relief since then. It's just been an absolute bloodbath, just down, down, down. So if you've been shorting, then you've been making money. If you were shorting this whole time or holding a short the whole time. But I think that most people are of the mind that they were kind of only targeting, 74-ish anyway for a short, and then looking to re-enter later. And if enough people do that, enough people re-enter later at higher prices, it could present another opportunity for a short squeeze to push us to even higher prices that nobody was ever expecting. So kind of a coin toss in the air at these types of points. But it's a very interesting point of time in the market, and just figured I'd cover it because it is super confusing. Even people that have been in the market for years and years still find these types of areas or whatever to be confusing. Like, it's almost like Bitcoin is kind of in like an awkward phase at the moment because nobody can really agree on what they think the price should be. But there's all kinds of fake outs and stuff. There's some manipulation that happens. There's stuff that, there's like the majority trades in one direction and then the market goes against them. Like, because oftentimes, like, what the majority thinks is what ends up being wrong. So like the market just tries to screw as many people as possible. Looks like we came up and so far reclaiming that support level. So far it's trying to reclaim that support level. So we'll see if we're going to hang on to that. But yeah, let's see if anybody else showed up, I guess. KL says, I am a person. Oh great. I'm so bad at YouTube. I am a person, not a bot. Haha. I like to use total to trade, especially on the 1 hour. Rick showing up at the kangaroo. What's going on, Rick? We do need at least short recovery like you're showing. Sol did a triple bottom on the 4 hour. Yeah, we can go take a look at Sol real quick too. And then we can take a look at some other altcoins. I just want to see if wow, we got a whopping 2 viewers. Hell yeah.
You need to take your link from your YouTube now and put it in your voice in your general chat so we can link onto it. Where is it? I don't see it. Did you put one?
In YouTube videos, I put at everyone instead on live.
No. Grab your link from YouTube right now. You're on your YouTube right now, right? Or no? Can you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, great. You grab that link where, because I need it. I don't see where it is.
Go to YouTube videos.
Yeah, I put in the
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Shubakel.
Thanks,
That's it.
Appreciate it.
Now I can go and see your YouTube. Not much. I was coming to ask you for your link.
Oh.
And I was seeing that you were.
That just goes to show everyone. Like, I'll add everyone and people just completely ignore it, or they don't even notice it, or like they.
Where is it? No, I don't notice it. That's my excuse.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe people don't see it.
I don't know. I mean, but yeah,
There we go.
Kale put it in general there, so it's
Was
there. Um,
yo? What
What?
account is this?
I do have to leave. I have to go pick up my wife. So,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that you're doing the YouTube live again. It's awesome.
That's
Thanks,
it.
man. Well, so I guess I can try to look at Soul real quick. You said Soul is doing what on the 4-hour, Kale?
It's a triple bottom
Oh, triple bottom.
and has a good little reaction.
All right, I'll check that out. We'll add that to
I closed all my shorts.
Soul USDT.
Oh, good job on those trades.
Yeah, Kale's been killing it, man. Yeah, I see what you're talking about here. This triple bottom, and it is it must be a significant area of interest because I have a ton of lines drawn there for whatever reason. I guess just from this whole previous consolidation. It swept this previous low, it looks like. Not quite. It didn't quite sweep it. It's almost there. That April 7th low. Yeah, Soul hasn't quite swept that, but I mean, it does look like it's got some sharp wicks on the bottom here at this area, which, was this previous consolidation, which was pretty significant back when it was happening.
But they get bought up pretty quickly, which is nice.
Yeah. I bought some Soul last night, actually. Just putting, like I had some Tether. Like I had like a couple extra $100 of Tether or something. And I just bought like a few coins on spot because I'm like, well, what if it rips? What if I wake up tomorrow and just everything's ripping? So whenever there's a red day that happens, or whenever prices are generally down, like compared to the day before, like I don't have a problem just like DCAing in, especially if they're like down like 30% for the week or whatever. It's like, okay, that's a value buy, value cost averaging. And if they go back up, I'll either sell them off or, try to restructure some of my grid bots or whatever. But yeah, Soul was one of the things that I picked up because I hadn't bought any in a while, and I saw that it was below 100, and I was like, I might as well just dip my toes in that a little bit.
Honestly, yeah, Soul at this price is fantastic.
Yeah, I can't get over, like, I remember what it was like at like $40, $50, $60, and it would really kind of be nice to see those prices again, but I
doubt it.
it might not go there.
I mean,
Like there is like look at this whole area. Like just taking into consideration this whole area right here that never got filled in. Like this is all just empty trading space. Like it could essentially go back. Like this is the only like level that's holding up. And this actually is, if you look at it, this is a massive head and shoulders. That's what it is. There's no doubt about it. That's a massive head and shoulders. But do I think it's going to just drop straight through it? I mean, not necessarily, because I saw a big, massive head and shoulders just like this on XRP, and then XRP fucking ripped afterwards. Like, right afterwards. It was kept threatening everyone that it was going to break down.
it would just get bought up.
Yeah, so...
Why can't we see this?
Oh, I might not be actually sharing my thing in Discord, but like I'm on YouTube, so I forgot to share my chart before I went live, I guess.
I'm on YouTube too, so there we go. I see you.
Clean up this chart while I have the chance, I guess. And then I guess I'll take one of these from the previous... I don't know why I have all of these freaking lines on my chart, man. I really don't need that many. Alright, this is the previous low from here. I guess this is probably gonna turn into resistance, so I guess I'll put that there because that's a significant point.
Alright, Koi, I gotta go. Have a great day. And I'll try to come back in later, but I doubt it. But yeah, good hanging out with you today. I'm glad you're doing this.
Yeah, you too, brother. Good, always a pleasure. Glad to have you. Glad to have you around, bud. Welcome anytime.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night. Or end of afternoon, I guess.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Why isn't this showing up? All right. I don't know what that line was all about, but yeah,
Is
this
this on
volume profile.
BTC?
No, this is Solana,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know how much really more there is to say about this chart, but it is like below the value area low for this fixed range volume profile here. It's below the value area low, so I mean, it's at the bottom of this range. I can say that, but then also, like I said, these levels here, like this is kind of the last consolidation you have holding you up. So if it drops, like it's very likely to fill in this whole area. You could someday, potentially pretty soon, see Solana back at $20. That's not out of the cards. I don't know if that's where the probability lies at the moment, but see how there was always a sharp wicks down here, down here. I mean, this time you're getting kind of like full bodies almost. Like you do have a couple sharp wicks here, but they're not being followed by like bullish candles. Like at least here on the daily so far, this was a nice wick, but it wasn't. It's so far this daily candle's red. It's like working on a bearish engulfing candle, so that doesn't show as much strength as something like this, where you got this big like like doji, like almost a hammer but not quite, like doji, but it was a stopping volume candle, and then you get like these bullish candles following it. It took 2 days after that candle printed, but you see how like the bodies nor the wicks even came down anywhere close to this low. That symbolizes a strong bounce. So that happened back there. I mean, this showed demand. It still put in lower highs before ultimately making higher highs later on, but put in two lower highs, one higher low, and then it started working back on the uptrend and progressing towards the uptrend. But here, so like you can see the sharpness of the wicks here. Like people keep buying it up below this price. Like people keep buying it up below 120. People are happy to buy it, and they were even happy to buy it right here. But now at this point, it's like you could see that there's no sharp wicks or anything. The price action is getting kind of dull, so it's not really showing like, hey, I really want to bounce aggressively. It's not showing that. It's showing like, hey, I don't know, I'm looking for buyers. Oh, I guess they're down here. Let's see if they're here. No, it wasn't quite enough of them. Like, and then you get this sort of cascading effect where you just start to fall through support. I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen with Solana, but that's kind of, it doesn't look as enthusiastic at this level right here as it did before. I'll just say that much. Like when it came to these levels before, it was more enthusiastic about recovering, at least in the short term. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look the same here. It looks less enthusiastic to me at the moment. So I guess we'll wait and see how that plays out. Even this bounce is kind of starting to come back a little bit. You got these sharp wicks on the top here. So I mean, if it comes to fill in this whole vector gap, then that might have just been a push up to liquidate some shorts or whatever before, like, ultimately coming back through. It also likes to trap people. Like crypto, like Bitcoin and crypto love to trap people into thinking, oh, hey, we're reversing. And the momentum's going to flip back to the upside. But if you go and you enter a trade without getting the confirmation that the momentum actually has flipped back to the upside, then you get trapped. And you either get stopped out for a loss, or like you end up having to hold the position in the negative, and where like somebody else is like just trying to dart for lower prices and get cheaper buys that are below you, and then you're just left holding the bag. So I like to try to avoid those things. Like I try to wait for decent amount of confirmation before entering a trade. Silver kind of not really doing anything significant. Like it is having these little dead cat bounces, but for the most part, after this sort of exhaustion and momentum up here earlier today. It just kind of took a dive and hasn't really been able to recover from that just yet. I'm actually in a short on silver. I'm in a short on silver from up here. So my position's still safe. I already took out half of my position. I took out like 25% right here, and then I took out another 50% of it right here. So I only have like 20% left. Like, I know that math doesn't check out. Like, I should have 25% left, but I did also close a bit more at these lows. So I think I have about 20% of the original position that I'm gonna leave to ride, and then my stop loss is like somewhere up here, like in the profit, because my entry's here. So that trade's been working out for me. Let's see if it continues down. I thought that we would catch a bid around $84, but I didn't really see anything exciting enough to make me be like, I'm going to close my short and go long. So I didn't enter a long. And so far there hasn't been any like real sustained strength in the move so far. I've only said maybe it's just consolidate sideways before it moves back up, or it could just make a bear flag and then drop down further. In which case you can take like a measured move. Something like that. If it does form a bear flag, I was actually pretty close. So, I mean, that could, maybe you find a bid on silver like just below $80 or so. But we'll see. I'll keep my live stream running for a little while, and see if anybody shows up or is interested, and if people want to MSJ Singh says, on YouTube your voice is a little low, or is it just me? I'm not sure. Is this any better? Tell me if this is better or not.
It's a bit low.
I mean, you sound pretty good, bro.
Alright, well, I'm not exactly sure what that issue is, but I'll have to try to figure that out. Maybe it's an OBS problem. Maybe
What were you, I just got in here. What were y'all talking about?
Just doing some price action on BTC and silver and total,
Right on.
fancy.
I'm out right now. Not at the desk. Where's BTC at?
It's at 74,700. So it recovered quite a bit off of that low. Like, it swept the low here at 72.8. It swept this previous low, and it went up like 3%, almost 3.5%. So like 3.2% in just 20 minutes. So that's a pretty sharp recovery for the short term, but I don't know if the move will actually be sustained, because people need to show up and buy at that support resistance flip. Like, people need to actually show up and buy there. Like, we need to reclaim this level before it becomes real for like confirmation. And so far we're kind of just retesting it and hanging out at it, but there's no real enthusiasm showing up at the moment.
What's the number that gives the enthusiasm, you think? And it can't be too low to where it is a bad
I don't
thing.
think it's
You know what I
I
mean?
don't think it's a certain number. I think it's just structure. It's just like, where is demand stepping in? Like, do people have limit buys that get hit and they choose to not sell off, and then like more people are like, oh hey, so like we're building structure, let's buy in. But the market is so skittish right now that like any sort of move down, people are like, oh, I'm just gonna sell off, this isn't working, I'm just gonna sell off, it stops going up, and they sell off, and then it just goes back to the previous low, and then try again. And then if that previous low gets dropped, then you go lower, and you're searching for buys, you're searching for buy orders that are going to support the price, and so far there hasn't really been too many. I think the majority of these like little, like D-Block calls them popcorn moves.
Yeah.
Shout out to D-Block, by the way. Go check out his channel. He's got a 24-hour live stream on YouTube. It's called Crypto Cipher by D-Block, so check it out. But yeah, like D-Block says, there's these things called popcorn, that he calls popcorn moves, that altcoins do all the time. So this could just be like a popcorn move. It's like, okay, you get oversold to a certain point, there's enough people that see this area, and they're like, okay, we lost that area, short, because we're just gonna absolutely tank and go down. And then all of these, so then it puts short liquidations up here for all those people, and then it's like, okay, the price is like, all right, let's just go liquidate a ton of people Once they're liquidated and out of the trade, you find out if there's momentum, and if there's no actual real momentum, and there's not more people showing up to buy, then it will just fall right back through. Because there has to be
Yeah,
actual
I fall
demand
into that
to support the
category.
price.
Un-
There has to be actual
Uncertainty.
demand to support the price, and there's like not enough. I mean, it's trying to hold this line right here, but it kind of looks like it's struggling like shit. So we'll just continue to track it. Still below the 50 EMA on the 5-minute. So it got rejected by the 200 EMA on the 1-minute, but this sort of double triple top looking type thing. It's trying to hold the 50. Like I said, it looks like it's struggling like shit. But 5-minute still below the 50 EMA, which like there isn't enough signs of bullish momentum here. If we reclaim this level, this yellow line here, if we reclaim that level of support,
Uh,
and then this red moving average, which is the 13 EMA, if that red moving average crosses above the 50, maybe the 50 comes down a little bit to meet it. When the 13 crosses above the 50 and you get some candle body closes above this, like at least one or
decent
two,
action.
that's when you get the signal that bullish momentum has begun. Then maybe it comes back to retest the 50, and then that's where your entry would be, catching a higher low. But right now there's really nothing that suggests that like bullish momentum is there on the 5-minute. It's not present on the 5-minute, and all we're really working on is flipping this back into support, instead of turning it into resistance. So
Right.
we'll continue to track that. There is some, shorts are getting really aggressive. Like people are really aggressively shorting. So you could see like
Chasing.
just a shot right through those liquidations. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. It does appear to be more people short than there is like long liquidations right now. So if it's got the strength, if it's got the balls, if
De
it's got the balls, it's
huevos.
got the buyers, and if it's got the buyers, they got the balls to actually buy and hold, then yeah, we should be able to go sweep these shorts. But I'll leave this. If it closes above the 200 at 75k, then 77.3 is a good chance that could be in the cards at that point. So let's stay tuned and figure it out.
Stay tuned. All right, bro.
And
Thank
I
you
will
very
be
much.
back in a couple minutes. No problem. Thanks for dropping by, Stephen.
Appreciate you.
Do me a favor, Steve. Go to the YouTube, the live stream on YouTube, and freaking smash that like button, bro. Just absolutely obliterate that like button.
Wait, do I have to smash it in order for it to work, right?
Yeah,
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. If you just click it, then it's not gonna work. You
Okay,
have
shoot.
to smash it.
Shoot. All right.
Like
So
you
the
have
best way to support your channel
physically.
would be to just go buy some merchandise. Thanks. Right? No, okay. Here we go. Ready? Y'all even might be able to hear it.
I don't have any merchandise, but if you guys order some of my merchandise, I will make some merchandise for you.
Yes,
You have
and
to
it's not
you
from
have to order
jerseys.
it. Yeah, you gotta order it first though, and then I'll think of the idea after you order it.
Smash that freaking like.
Yeah, but you can get a free entry on merchandise suggestion if you just smash that like button first.
I might as well go ahead and share this.
You don't
Woo!
gotta click it. Like actually physically punch your
I
fucking.
just did.
Like,
I just got this phone. I don't want to break the screen.
oh, well,
You know?
you ain't doing
I'm
it
doing
right.
those.
If you're not breaking your screen, then you're not doing it right.
I guess that's right. I would break my screens working. I would break my screens when I'd lose money up against the wall, folding them in half. Yeah.
Well, if you're doing it anyway, then you might as well do it in a way that's gonna help, Jim.
Just fold it in half and smash the phone like it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Speaking of smashing, these girls are fighting. Oh, Twitter is so nasty. All right. Well, Bitcoin solves all problems, I hear.
Acceptance is the answer to all my problems today.
What is?
Acceptance.
Except, okay, that's good. That was one of the first things I tried to learn. Still struggling daily
Hmm.
to accept the fact that gold is doing this. Oh wow. On KSEX, if anybody knows, has a suggestion of the highest leverage you can use on KSEX. It's a stupid question. It's for a friend of mine.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Um, I want to find that 500X.
No, you have to go to BTCC for that.
Okay. They don't like me.
Or like, I mean, the only other place that I know that offers 500x is Weeks, and Weeks is fucking wicked scammy. So I really wouldn't suggest going.
Yeah. Oh no. You know what I didn't do again?
Don't put your money on Weeks because all I hear about is how they friggin' screw people over, dude, for real, and steal people's money.
Yeah. I forgot to give that information again at home on the computer to Gigolo, but yeah, they're gonna get a phone call for sure. So yeah, oh wow, look at BTC not go.
Yeah, it's working on trying to build something here, but I think it's full of shit. I don't trust it at the moment. You can see people closing their shorts already.
I
So
don't
there's less
trust
short
myself.
liquidations. See how people are like, they're like, oh, I'm scared, and they close their shorts, and there's less short liquidations up above, so that it doesn't end up actually having that gas to get up there. So that's why I was saying sometimes it presents like this false sense of security if you're in a long, because you're like, oh, there's so many short liquidations above us, but people don't consider that those shorts could be closed at any time. And if
Mm-hmm.
those short positions are closed, they don't have a liquidation anymore, which means they're not a target for liquidity. Their liquidity no longer becomes a target. So it's there's less incentive for the price to go up, and you know it's how it works. Anyway, like I said, I gotta go do something real quick.
Get out of here, bro.
I'm gonna just like, I'm leaving the stream up for now, but
Okay.
I gotta jump onto my mobile device, my mobile device. But I'll be back at the mainframe in a couple of minutes.
Yes, sir. What? Huh. Be right back.
Well, I'm back. I don't know if anyone else is even still here anymore, but yeah, I don't know. I came up and cleared some of those short liquidations, like I was saying. Now you got this nasty candle to deal with. So I don't know. I would wait to see. I'm gonna cut the stream because nobody's watching it anyway. It's kind of a pointless stream. I just want to give an update on like the price action. Basically, all there is to say is that it made a lower low. It swept the previous low at 74, and it hit this support over here. In simplest terms, that's what happened. So, swept this low, hit this previous high, whatever. That's the long and short of it. Could see a bounce from here, even if it's only a short-term bounce. You know, and or maybe it even rallies back up to like this, the bottom of this channel that it fell from, and then goes further down. I don't know what the price is going to do in the future, but I just wanted to give an update on basically that you guys know it swept that previous low. Now that we're down here at these prices, let's see if we can hold this area as a level of support. We spent months and months and months building this. I traded this whole thing. We spent months and months and months building that resistance. And so for it to just fall right through there, I'd say it's highly unlikely. I don't think it's just going to slide right through all of this structure that took like 7 months to build. It's the longest consolidation in terms of time in BTC's history ever. So I seriously thought we're just going to slide through that. There's a couple other people that are suggesting lower numbers, but I mean, I could see that. I just don't see it all happening. Like, I don't see just like a death candle just falling straight through down to like 50K. Like, I don't think that's likely. Or even just like going straight down to 30K, which like some people are calling those numbers. It's like, could it happen? Yeah, sure. But I really don't think that it's going to just come and slide right through the whole structure that we spent 7 months building. So that's my take on it. We swept the previous low. Usually when you sweep the low of a range, you get some sort of a bounce. See, I mean, like, we even did it here when we swept these lows. You did get a bounce there. When you swept these lows here, you got a bounce. When you swept these lows here, you got a bounce. They still all resulted in lower highs, you know, but that's not the point. Like, there were significant bounces with significant percentage gains. So just keep that in mind going forward. We did sweep this, like, you know, pretty significant low, so I would expect some sort of relief off of this point. We're also pretty oversold on even the weekly time frame. The RSI is at 24. I mean, if you look at the daily, it's at 15. You look at the, oh, that's a nice stopping volume candle on the daily. You want to watch out for, if this closes like this as a stopping volume candle, which is just like, you know, the wick being longer than the body, look for a bullish engulfing tomorrow, because that would really give you everything that you need to know about whether or not we could reverse, even if it's only up to here. But yeah, daily RSI's at 15, 4 hours at 25, 1 hour. What did it hit down here? Like, it hit 10 down here on the 1 hour. It's back above 30 now, but I mean, these are like some pretty seriously oversold levels on almost every time frame. It hit 5 on the 15 minute. Literally hit 5. So, I mean, it's clearly oversold. Can we get momentum for a bounce? That's the question. It looks like so far we held that low that we swept, this previous macro low. We so far seem to have been able to get back above it, retested as support, and now we're continuing to move up. Maybe we get rejected here at the 50 EMA, or maybe it's the 200, or maybe we just come and sweep all of these liquidations up to 83, 84K, where there is a gap on the CME chart. There's a gap on the CME chart that leads right to that, actually. Here, I'll just bring that up real quick to show you a visual of it. This big gap here on the CME chart that hasn't been filled yet. That gives, like, it doesn't have to be filled, but this gives, you know, pretty much every other trader in the world a whole freaking target, like the same target to trade towards. So it's usually when there's a big gap that's left behind there, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because, you know, there's every trader in the world is trading towards the same target, which is basically 84, 85K. Between 84 and 85K, I would say, is a reasonable target, even if it's only a dead cat bounce for now. That potentially evolves into something better. But in any case, maybe we come back, make a higher low, and then continue on. But I mean, we're gonna have to wait for more price action to develop, and I'm not going to cover the whole thing. It is almost 4 o'clock. We're still in the middle of power hour on, the what's it called? Silver is starting to gain a little bit more ground back too. But yeah, stock market is in the middle of power hour. Well, not in the middle. It's almost at the end. So the market is going to be closing soon. So I'm expecting volume to drop off anyway. So we'll see if I don't know if silver is going to maintain this traction or if it's going to just start to sort of it does like a fish hook looking type thing here. In which case, too many fibs. If it is a fish hook, it's made like a 382 to 0.5 retracement so far. I guess a nice measure move on that would be the 78 area, I guess, and then hopefully it can make a higher low, but then you would still be trading in that same range that we've been trading in, which basically this whole big rectangle box here. Not that it's a perfect rectangle, but you get the basic idea. Maybe if you just call that a deviation below it, like, there is a chance that we just trade in this sort of range while it tries to gain its footing again. Maybe it just trades in this range while it tries to gain its footing, and then maybe one of these days it ends up... Wow, my mouse is really messed up. I need to get a new mouse. Trades sort of in these zones until one day, like, maybe it gains its footing, starts to put in higher lows above the range that's building structure. If we break above that structure, come back, retest it, and start building new structure above it, that's a signal for a more sustained move up. But right now, I'm really only kind of, even if it did go higher from here, I would really only be targeting like the 96 area, $96, because there was a steep sell-off that happened there. I would think all the people that are holding bags that tried to buy here, they would probably be trying to exit their position. So my short-term, mid-term target on silver is really kind of just 96, and then see what happens there. And that's assuming it goes up from here. I'm currently in a short position that I'm holding on to just in case it comes back down to the bottom of this range, in which case I'll probably close it. But aside from that, don't really know what to expect from silver. It probably needs a minute for sentiment to return if it wants to gather momentum. And that's pretty much all I got. The market is about to close in about 20 minutes, so I'm going to go and finish up some stuff that I need to do with my other portfolio, like not just my trading portfolio, but my investment portfolio. So I'm gonna have to go attend to that before market closes. But everyone who, joined the live stream, I appreciate you joining in. I'll start trying to go live more often. If you guys want to, ask questions and stuff on the live chat, feel free. If you're interested in joining my Discord server, then just put a comment in underneath the video, and I'll post a link under the video. Yeah. Aside from that, thanks for joining me. I kind of really suck at this whole YouTube thing. I mean, that's why, sort of, I'm not even sure how worth it is for me to go live. But, if I start getting viewers and people start commenting and asking me questions, I'll probably be more likely to do it more often. But, I mean, aside from that, I'll just try to go live whenever I get a chance and have the time, and whenever there's market moves happening. So far, this looks like a pretty decent bounce. You're contending with the 50 EMA on the 15-minute, so keep an eye out for that, but then also keep an eye to see if we hold this support at 74,457. Anyway, I guess that's all I got. So until next time, don't force the trade, trade the force.